Okay, so this week we've had a bit of discussion on microphones, and these are some of the ones I've got sitting around up this end of the house. These are not from the American barn. I've got about another 100 or so sitting around the place, and I thought I'd need to start moving on some of them, obviously, and I thought I'll just put them out in a bit of a row and show people a little bit of history. What the heck, hey? Alright, so you will see these. I'm just trying to think. I've got these in. Oh, yeah. What I should have done, I should have put this microphone, hang on, over here in front of this, because, have a look, they're very, very similar. Now, probably some of the comparisons I want to show you is just how many microphones were branded pretty much the same thing, sort of, sorry, different name, but same microphone. I've knocked my little spinning wheel, this little thing here. Oh, good on you. It's all right. I know what I have to do. I have to do up this little screw here. It turns around. It's all very nice, but anyway, fix that in a minute. I just did that then. Dumb. All right, so yeah, so you often saw these Cobra mics as Radio Shack mics as well. One of my favourites, the SBE. Now, this is the one with the gain control on the back here. Don't mind a bit of dust on some of this stuff. A lot of this has come out of, this has been sitting in my workshop, some in the museum building actually, and I've just brought them out because I thought, and I need to get to the other 100 or so sitting in the American barn, but I thought I'll just show you what was sitting out in the museum building at least, and obviously, contact us if you're interested in any of these for sure. Now, something to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mics. What's very common in all of them? You would have to think the same manufacturer had something to do with them. Well, you'd be right. And I actually just sent a CPI. This one's still needs the dust taken off it, but to a chap yesterday who's a great collector, and I thought we'd sent our last one, but found another one out in the museum, which is interesting. But as you can see, they came out in a Plus 3B. The Plus 3, I was always a big fan of the Plus 3. I don't know why, I just thought it was a subtle, easygoing mic. Looked the piece. Super Sidekick, which people love for that aggressive audio. I think they certainly had a bit of a name for that. There definitely, just to clear something up, there definitely was a difference between the Plus 3B and the Super Sidekick in the circuit for sure, in the compressor and what they used to do. So, as you can see, a lot of brands were going to Turner at the time and saying, "Hey, can we Can we do a microphone?" Now, these are early days Browning, so they're on the Golden Eagles, those sort of things. Johnson here used to do quite a few, etc., etc. So that's why the similarity in a lot of the head shape and the actual formation of the whole base of it, etc. I just it's funny. I'm not really doing this historically correct because I've got a lot more mics sitting out in the American barn, but I thought, let's just deal with what we call the first load, because don't kid yourself, all of them are going to go. All right, so Yaesu MD1, so used to suit a lot of your FT990s, FT1000s, 980s, FT1, that was all sort of that era. YM38s, they were pretty much a generic, fit anything from way back from your 2 metre sideband to, 736 right through. Both were generally 8-pin mics with the up-down buttons, etc. You'll see these in a YM36. I've got plenty of those out in the shed where they didn't have the up-down buttons. Anyway, Yaesu from the old 101 series, a few of those lying around them. Beautiful examples of things like the MC85s. I mean, look, like brand new. I mean, some of the stuff is just... and to be very honest, this only just came in. You know who you are. Thank you very much. That is probably one we'll put on one of our own personal Kenwoods, actually. So very nice. MC85, that's a bit grubby. We've got about 5 or 6 of these sitting around the place. This one, I chose the worst example because I was too lazy to go out and get something out of the American barn. There definitely is better examples. Anyway, MC60, 60A. So the difference being obviously the mic amp on the bottom there. So that's certainly something to distinguish. Where the MC50. So this here went onto your TS950 SDX, etc., etc., where you would have found the TS50, garbage, sitting more on a TS520, 820, etc., etc. Some of these are nice. Big shout out to VK5AP, 3AP. Oh, that'll be right. VK3AP Theo Calandris. I bought these from Theo some time back, and these are beautiful, beautiful examples. And the Golden Eagle and the Silver Eagle as well. They really, if you said to me, what's on your for sale list and what's on your not for sale list, yeah, I'd say they probably, Sam might have to sell those when I'm gone. Anyway, okay, so the Silver Eagle, which you can sort of read on the top there, same sort of deal with the backing, etc. Very, very nice microphone. And I know a lot of people actually prefer the silver over the gold. I think they're both lovely. Then really just there's a range of just the differences, and once again what a static did. This is probably your more standard a static D104. Now that's probably the most common mic you're going to see branded D104. But bear in mind, whilst that's D104, TUG8, yep, you will find that that's a D104, beautiful condition, but different lock system. So this was people that had hand problems, etc., could just put some weight on there, bingo. It's actually quite a good design, that one. Now I think they changed the model number for that. No, sorry, the TUG8 is the stand. Sorry, no, I'm wrong. Now, was there a model number for that? No. Yeah, I saw this mainly on some Heathkit setups, so I'm not sure if they were just primarily Heathkit or what the go was. Now this is the Silver K. No, it's not. It's the Night K Eagle. Dust. Sorry, guys. So this had the programmable da-di-da, so you could have the beep multi-tone. So it had the K signal. Often, they called it the K mic. So you can turn that off, and you can pad that down 20 dB if you need to. But yeah, just so the end of an over, this would go da-da-da. So quite nice. Yeah, I think we had a couple of these too, 3 or 4. Sorry, I'm just trying to pick up Electro Voice. Sorry, I'm having a mental blank. Got a couple of Electro Voices that are old Electro Voices, and I don't know, people didn't really get so carried away with them, but they were brilliant audio, no question about that. They're amazing old mics, and certainly, if you're trying to put it together with some classic old Heathkit, Swan, something a little bit different than the generic stuff, these are always sort of nice things to add to them. This is an old, look, this is probably more of a CB mic from way back, and we're about to hit a few CB mics from way back. The Piezo DX354, and look, great driving microphone, nothing bad to say about them, they were fine. Maybe they didn't get the popularity quite as much. I'll show you another Piezo lately branded as Cobra that was probably a lot more popular. Look at the dust. I feel, look, what, I just can't look at that, hang on. I've got to clean it. Can't believe it. It's funny, before I did this video I thought I'll just try and, there was a little bit of dust on some of them, of course, they've been sitting around for a long time, and I thought I'll just get rid of that, but still failed. Anyway, so what's the next thing? People often say to me, the Leesons and the Turners and the expanders were all the same. No, they weren't. No. They were certainly similar. There were definitely similarities, and as you can see from this sort of back shot of looking at the 4 together, that they certainly had very similar features. Obviously the I didn't realise actually. Sorry, 3 really. I bought out 2 Expander 500s. That wasn't on purpose. I've got a few Expander 500s, but I didn't really. I must have had 2 sitting around in the. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so just to make that a lot clearer, maybe otherwise it won't sort of. So really, hang on. Doing this one-handed now. So really what we're saying is this and this had a difference, and I wonder if you can pick it, because straight away there is a difference on the Expander 5. That's why I bought them in. Sorry, it's all right, my brain's just clicking in now. I'll put this lease on back as well. So yes, there was one other lease on. Hang on. I just ran into my Radio Shack to go grab something that we'll get to that particular lease on. I'll do that up. Normally that sits about there, but just needs the screws done up. Anyway, yes, another very, very collectible lease on, and I doubt you've ever seen one. So we'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, so yes, even Turner had some differences in their Expander 500s. One was with lock bar, one was without lock bar. And I knew there was a reason I had the two sitting here. I just thought, oh, have I doubled up, or yeah, that's what it was. So pretty much, then you go over to the Expander 500 by Euro CB over here. Sorry, we're getting a bit of sunlight through that window there. Hang on, I might try and fix that, because that's oh, if I stay back here, not too bad. So this here was obviously the version of Turner, the Expander 500, that didn't have the lock bar. So they've done, taken the same mic. Well, they've done a bit more than that. They changed the faceplate there. All the typing is actually much larger. If you're someone like me who's getting a bit older, the writing on that, this is a lot finer print on there. And then they stuck to the finer print there. So they actually, I wonder if there was a copyright thing here where they had to make 30% of changes to, anyway. Then you had the lease on, which a lot of people think the DT251 was exactly the same as the Turner. Wrong. It was actually quite a different mic. As you can see, the two controls were in different spots. I'm missing a knob there, which I've got one somewhere too. Must find that. And I've got a couple of DT251s as well that in the box, long story. But yeah, these, no battery. These were quite a good mic. From memory, yes, it was a very similar amplifier stage, though. I think I remember looking at them and thinking, you know, they might have stolen some design there. All right, so then we saw a lot of these older mics that were basically rebranded into so many different names, but a lot of them did have slight differences. Leeson brought out a very early version of this here, and I can't do much about that sun, unfortunately. I'm just seeing if maybe if I pull this out, hang on, I've got to be a little bit smart here. Well, that might do it. Oh yeah, that's better. Okay, a little bit darker, but see, I might need light now. Hang on. Come think of it. I'm in the kitchen, guys. You probably figured that. Oh, that's better. Okay, so Leeson bought out. This is a very early version Leeson, and the lock bar still works. And as anybody knows, they didn't keep that tradition for very long. Then the Lafayette bought out one different lock bar buttons, but from there, then Johnson rebranded, Midland rebranded. This was called a Crystal 254, which I think was Turner, wasn't it? It was a very early model Turner. Hang on, let's have a look here. Oh yeah, Turner, yep. But yeah, and then the Turner Plus 2, which that was obviously very early days. That one's missing a lock bar too, as you can see. But this is then a bit of history when they went to their first amplifier in the Turner Plus 2. Well, I shouldn't say their first amp. I don't know that for a fact. I'm sort of the earliest one I've seen. Anyway, so there you go. So there you see that, you know, there's in a row there 6 microphones, which they've all taken some very, you know, a bit of poetic license here where they've decided to change some buttons, but really, you know, here Johnson decided no lock bar. So they couldn't use the exact same casting, but they certainly used the same moulds, and you know, yeah, no, they're, you know, nice old mics. Now you might say, why have I got what looks to be a Pi commercial mic sitting there? Well, I was introduced to these by Alan Donahue, VK3FAJD. He's probably changed his call. I've known Alan Donahue for years. Great guy, great mate of mine, and we love our radios, don't we, Alan? No question about that. But Alan was running this on a CPI, and I thought, oh yeah, I'm not sure about this microphone. Anyway, it's an old Pi microphone. I thought, oh yeah. Now, I've never sold it because of the fact that it's actually quite a brilliant mic. And just to be clear, not all these mics are for sale. Some of these mics, you know, I desperately like to keep. And it's one of them. And I know you're going to think, well, why? Well, because it's a standout. The audio tone off it is just absolutely amazing. I don't know how Alan came across it. Good find, Alan. Really, really well done. These were when I was at Jensen Electronics. Excuse my kitchen sink. Although I cleaned up. Now, by the way, you guys here on my Facebook page, you know that I clean the kitchen every day. Sam never does. I do. You know, Sam does, but you know, I make out she doesn't. But you know, and after all these mics come off, I'll be the one, you know, polishing the granite benches again. Blah blah blah. I'm a bit OCD. So welcome to my kitchen. But these electrophones, we sold squillions of these. I can't remember, they're 544 or something, were they? 521A. MC521A, there you go. And we sold boxes and boxes of them. I've got some in the box, I think, in the shed, possibly. Better not make too many. Anyway, they were a good old mic, you know. I probably wouldn't say get too excited by their performance on, you know, like sideband, and, you know, this drove really well. We probably sold more of these on TX470s and things like that. What was this on? Let's have a look. Well, there you go. That's 4 pins. So that was probably on a HF TX560 or something like that. So there you go. Look, they drive fine. They do a good job. They're not a bad mic. If you've got an Electrophone, you're trying to match it up as a collector, of course, buy it, no question. Now we're talking about a very rare microphone, which has got dust. Unbelievable. Anyway, now I don't know that I've got a second one of these. I'm going to be very honest. I went and pulled this out the museum. Most of these mics were sitting in the house, just so you know, and not down the barn and not in the museum. They were actually sitting in the house on racks, and it's embarrassing that there's so many sitting in the workshop because we're trying to clean the workshop out. This microphone, obviously they took the concept of a handheld mic, and that you see the police using back in the 70s and 80s all the time, and they put it on a base and they said, let's make this work. And this was the microphone that went onto the CB555 Motorola's, CB550 as well, and they're a good mic. Nothing exciting, good mic though, and of course they're so different. And I would say to you, I challenge you, go buy one, try to find one. Good luck. They're a little bit harder to find in 2024. I don't know what I was about to say, but I can't believe that I did run a rag. I just sort of, God, dust. Sorry guys. The Astatics. Now Ross was a big Astatic fan. I'll be honest with you, these came from Strictly Ham, from his collection. They're still dust. And I've got to be honest, I don't know a lot about the Astatic bass mics, but what I can tell you, I've used a lot of their handheld stuff over the years, and their preamped handheld gear, and that is just world class. So I would expect that some of their Astatic bass mics are probably fairly similar, and the fact that they control both sides, tone and gain, etc. It's volume and tone, so they basically used to identify them as. A little bit dirty on there, but you see the V and the T on there. So that's how they used to sell those. And look, I must get one onto a radio and try one. I must be honest, I don't want to give it a big thumbs up. As I said, I've used all their handheld mics, and I think they're just fantastic noise cancelling and preamp mics. They're brilliant. So expect very less. Okay, this came from Ross. Now, this is not for sale. This goes with a Roy space station that I bought from Ross, and I'm actually just doing some work to it at the moment, doing a recap on it, and I just think I've got the original box for this, and there's the foam that came off the box. I actually pulled out the box to do this demo. Should have brought the box back in here. This is beautiful. To give you an idea of what a collector Ross is, you know what? Even though I was out in the museum grabbing a couple of things, I still forgot a couple of very classic microphones that should be here. One in particular. Hang on. Okay, I've been outside, back to the museum. I grabbed a few more things. Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. But there's a reason for it, and I'm going to finish off with something that was symbolic of Ross. And with Ross retiring, and I know there's a lot of bad feelings at the moment against Ross. Bad feelings. No one wanted you to retire, mate. And when I say bad feelings, we wanted you to stay doing what you're doing forever, but we do wish you the best in retirement, and you deserve it. And but I don't know what we're going to do without you. Some of the people coming up in the game have me very concerned. See, can't get a legal phone call for that one. All right, okay, and yes, I've had one. Okay, righto. So the Royce mic. This was Ross's, and yes, it goes on a beautiful Royce space with the 3 meters that Ross had that I bought, and absolutely love it. But it made me think of something that I'll show you before this video ends. Okay, so I've got to move a bit faster because I've just added a few things which I thought this would be 20 minutes. So American Electronics made 2 versions, this one, and they made one that looks exactly like one of these basically, which I didn't bring one in. I've got 2 sitting out in the shed. I was too lazy to go up there. Isn't it funny, if I've got to run across the museum, and I just did, and when I went out to the museum, I'm thinking, there's about another 30 boxes I could bring in here, and I thought, no, can't do that. So I bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 boxes in. So we'll get to those. What can I say about, we sold these for $49.95, and yeah, they had a lock bar that worked and seemed to keep going for 50 years, like, you know, they do work, and you could always hear that plasticky clunk sound when you put it back to someone. they'd sort of go, oh, you're running that American Electronics power-up mic, aren't you? Yeah. They were okay, but what has become of these is crazy. I don't even want to tell you the last time we sold one of these and how much it went for. They've become cultish, iconic, I don't know. Let's get past this one because we'll never get through. Electro Voice, another little old Electro Voice that you probably won't recognise, and great old classic. I won't carry on too much because most people understand that they were, just a nice sounding tone. All right, Midland, a lot of people had these on their CBs. As you can see, they're not commercial, although that would have been on like an Anytone or something like that. Lock bar, transmit, etc. Dust comes off it, thank God. This has become another iconic sort of mic, the SM8 Icon. This was a good driving, good bass, everything was good about the SM8. A lot of people, are trying to find an SM10, and I've got to be honest with you, with all the mics I've got, I don't have an SM10 at the moment. Someone offered me more money than it's crazy, too much money for it, and that went out the door. The SM8, this is my personal favourite. That's all I'm going to say. The SM10 was a very versatile mic with its little equaliser and everything. Blah blah blah. But yes, if you ever want to match up, say for a 751A or one of the older Icons, even I've run them on 7800s and they push well. I probably could run this on my 7850 and just see, just to get a test against the, say, SM50 Icon that I run at the moment, which, by the way, very impressed with. Nice mic. Okay, you can never talk about bass microphones without hitting a little bit on Shure. Now, this is an older Shure. This is the 526 that had the amplifier in it. And amplifier or tone control? Maybe someone could correct me in the comments. I'm just trying to remember whether it was an amp or a tone control. Did they have a battery? They had a battery, yeah. Pretty sure it was an amplifier then. Yeah, just pull me up on that if I'm wrong. The 444Ds. Everybody loves 444Ds. Now, they did come in different variations. So the 444D, as you can see there, this is not a 444D. Nothing like being pulled up. This is a 450, sorry. Next one will be a 444D, hopefully. Impedance low, high, switch. Must be interesting. It'd be interesting to know what the difference is between the 444 and the 450. And I'm thinking the 450 might have come out after, maybe. I don't know. All right. That's something we can research. Now, let's hope I got it right this time. The 444D. My God. You can't read this one. But it may not be a 444D. And I'll tell you why. This might just be a 444, even though I can't read it. Because normal and Vox, for the switching, it doesn't have the high-low impedance. So there were 444s. Okay. Big drum roll, the 444D. Oh, thank God, we finally found one. Righto, 444D. Righto. So maybe this is a good lesson for me too. Has the high-low impedance switch and the normal Vox switch on it, and that is a 444D. So if you've ever wanted a lesson on the 444 versus all the different Shures out there, Brenton, by making 3 mistakes and getting one finally right just by default, has explained it to you a little bit. We said before about the Electrophone box, the MC251A. Yeah, we've actually got a few of these, and that's how they came boxed. It was quite a shipping nightmare, to be honest, because when you were trying to stock shelves and that, and you've got to remember I was an apprentice. What apprentice means you sit upside down in cars fitting car stereos when you really just want to be on a bench fixing radios. You sit out in the shop stacking shelves when you really just want to be on the bench. Your first year is murder. Anyway, I've stacked a lot of those. We'll get to the Turners in a second. This is an interesting little mic. A lot of gain. Sylvania SDX 200, and it's a bit of a weird looking thing. I've had this for years, and you know what? I was surprised. Drives well, sounds good. I knew nothing about it when I bought it. Pretty much not much more, except for I found it to be quite good. So if you pick one of these up, you can't probably go wrong. Okay, so a few boxed as new Turner mics that I've still got sitting around the place. We've sort of gone through the Turners earlier, so don't let me bore you with that. But yeah, so pretty much same thing, just in boxes, and it's just too hard to hang on. As you can see, yeah, mics in there, etc. It's all right. We'll get a YouTube comment. You didn't really have mics in those. Yeah, I know. Trust me. not everybody is a loyal subscriber. I don't have, just so you know, I don't have all fans, trust me. At the moment, I've got a full Facebook page, absolutely dedicated to taking me down in every way, shape and form. It's crazy. Anyway, all because I didn't go buy a guy's amplifier and, what was it? Amplifier and, IC 7600 or something. Anyway, but, so, yeah, copping it. Anyway, by the way, we were willing to pay his price, just got complicated guy. All right, Zetagi, not a huge fan. Okay, I'm going to be honest, not a huge fan. They work okay. Yeah, look, they're great to push a CB along a little bit, I'm sure, but yeah, not a huge fan. I don't know why. I think it's because they've got so many echo mics and things and blah blah blah, and maybe I'm just becoming a bit old and cranky. Not sure. ICOM SM2, a lot of those obviously out there. That's a brand new one in the box, and we have a lot of examples of brand new stuff that's been had since 80s, 90s, whenever, etc. This one, the Cobra. Now, this is what I was saying before. We were looking earlier at, where was it? Somewhere back here. Oh, we were looking at the piezo. Well, this is a more typical sort of piezo for people that are probably a little bit older than me, but the more typical piezo for somebody my age is this one. So you would have seen piezo there, the little slide control, torque block, blah, 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 etc., etc. Great little mic, honestly. I'm glad Cobra put their branding on it because it makes a Cobra worth a lot more when you've got one of those now. Anyway, it's all good. So on the subject of Leesons, you're used to, that's a mint Leeson TW232 from a great mate of mine down in South Africa, and it is absolutely mint, no question about it, box, etc. What people don't know about so much, and you didn't see these, well, I don't think we saw one ever in Australia in our shops and things we were doing. Just get a bit of dust off it. I hate dust. You're starting to find out on OCD. This is the DT252A. And I just need to say straight up, I'm actually got to replace the lock bar on this. I've got a new lock bar for it. Would you believe it? Where do you get a new lock bar? Trust me, it wasn't easy. But this was a gift from a very good friend of mine down Melbourne way, Pete. And Pete does a lot of Super Bowl stuff, and he does some fantastic work, really does. He's over in Hawaii at the moment. He's having a ball. Hate you, Pete. Jeez, I'd rather be in Hawaii, no question. Anyway, this came to me, and I've started refurbishing it. Then I realised that, no, I need to do the lock bar, so I sort of got a bit stuck. I put a plug on it and ran it on a radio and sort of thought, right, the amplifier fires up, and that was good. Because Pete said to me, he said, look, there's this whole thing about not looking a gift horse in the mouth, but he said, mate, this gift may not be so good. I don't know if it works or not. Anyway, no, I was really appreciative because I'd never seen one with this because it's not just, it's the same bass section as you can see here, but then the neck's changed completely, and and one guy said to me, no, that's an aftermarket mod. Somebody's done that, and I said, mate, what did they also put DT252A on there versus TW232? He backed down then. Anyway, he's a good mate. It's all right. I just said to him, I said, mate, I think you might find this was a real model. Anyway, so good. Next one, fabulous microphone. Found it out in the museum. The Toa Paging PM600. I'm kidding. I bought it in for a joke. It's rubbish. All right. Let me just sort of do a bit of an overview, and I'm going to finish off with one microphone that I bought in. I went over to get one microphone. I bought in 10 boxes, as you sort of know. So this has been my little review, and we'll get to my one. I've just got to push it out the way. It's here. So this is the review of, me changing my wife's kitchen and turning it into a microphone display showroom. And as you can see, this is really my kitchen. I'm not joking. I do this to my wife's kitchen all the time. Normally this is the bench here where you're looking out to the dam and the water and everything, and probably the sun's gone down enough now that I can bring oh geez, I'm doing well here. We've got to get new blinds. These are old. You know what they're good for? Why they're good? Oh, as you can see, we're still building out here. We've got all this new structures going up. I will have no money soon, so I have to sell some of these mics because this structure, say goodbye to probably 70 grand, but anyway. Okay, so let's get to the last thing that I'm going to do. Okay, so this is gorgeous, and it is rare. And unfortunately, it's not a ham radio mic. And guys, I do prefer my ham stuff a little more to my CB stuff. If if someone said make a choice, well, yeah, all right, I'm not going to try and kid anyone. I'm not the big CB collector that I am compared to the ham. Have a look at this. boxed Courier base station mic, model BTM4, in the foam. Let me pull it out of here. Oh, hang on, I'm going to break the foam. That's better. Check this out, seriously. It is the most beautiful piece of artistry. I just think for this microphone, you would have to have this brand new looking Courier Gladiator. Let's check this out. And this is how I'm going to finish off. Yep. And this is a bit of a tribute to Ross. This is the sort of stuff Ross used to collect. Probably still does. You never know what Ross has got. This is beautiful. So this is a nice way to finish off because they made a, you know what, the red. I mean, they colour coordinated that so beautifully. Red, transmit. I mean, I know I'm sounding a bit OCD and a little bit sort of over the top here and orgasmic over a microphone, but yeah, that's me. That is really something that I think when you put that microphone onto this radio, you have got something special. So there you go. All right, well, let me sort of finish off here by saying we'll get a video to you soon of the work going on out here. Next Monday, everybody gets back to work, and by the end of the week next week, we should have, it should be dark out here because it'll be all roof cover, over 160 square metres of decking, get all the balustrades back up, start planting a bit of lawn out here, start actually fencing off some areas so the horses can't get in. That's been our big problem because, as you can see, they chew up everything. But we are in clean-up mode, so we've got a lot of work to do. My mode right now has to be, if I want to live, my beautiful wife is out face painting a whole lot of children at $100 an hour. Isn't that crazy? Who gets $100 an hour? I don't. Trust me, I don't. I don't get $100 an hour. Anyway, she does. But there you go. So just a bit of a look at a few mics. Look, I know you're going to say, a lot of you know the other brands of mics I've got here and all the other, that there's maybe another 150 more sitting. There is. I get it. The problem was that I had to dust them all off if I did that and do all the duplicates and work out what the duplicates were. And trust me, if you said how many brands of mics, see, there's not 100 and, well, there's probably 200 bass mics here, easy, you know, around the place, sure. But there's a lot of duplicates. How many brands of bass mics? You know, probably only 20 or 30 tops, because the rest will be duplicates. So anyway, yes, I need to sell some of them, absolutely. And the word need, I want to, let's get something straight. Everybody's going to die one day, you know. So what I'd say to that is, before I die, I'd like to get some of them out the way just to make sure Sam's not left with too much of a mess. But let's all stay alive as long as possible, hey? I think that's probably the goal. All right, well, this is VK3 Charlie Mike from the illustrious kitchen that we all never see any cooking in, but we definitely see radios. Thanks very much for bearing with me as we went through a few of these mics. If you made it through the whole of this video, geez, we should have a special prize for you on the next giveaway, I think, because this was a bit of a long one. Anyway, thanks, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll finish off with Ross's second favourite radio. Anybody know what Ross's first favourite radio is? Not even going to tell you. Put it in the comments section. Who knows what Ross's first choice radio is? If you said to him, absolute favourite radio, and I'll give you a hint. In my mind, it's the one that had a DigiScan on it. Does that help you? And some people are not allowed to answer that question because you know too easily. But anyway, and I'm actually fixing that radio right now. If you're watching this, Ross, I'm trying to fix a PLL fault in that thing. Because it's your old nostalgic bloody radio, I would never spend that much time on one of those old pieces of... I know you love them, Ross. It's frustrating me, though. It's a friend of one of these. I'll give you that as a hint. Big friend of one of these. He loves them. Had millions of them. I think we filled the trailer full of... Anyway. All right, guys, 73s, all the best. Cheers. Oh, please subscribe. Please. Hit the like button, please. Cheers, guys.